The quiet moments often feel insignificant. A glass of water, a short meditation, a walk instead of scrolling through endless feeds. Life doesn't magically transform overnight. It's easy to wonder if these small acts even matter. But the truth is, transformation isn't measured by speed, but by consistent effort. Each tiny habit, each small act of self-alignment sends ripples across your personal energy field, regardless of whether you feel it or not. This is the quantum ripple effect, the understanding that no single action is isolated. Every choice, no matter how small, creates a cascade of energetic consequences. These consequences aren't just personal, they're vibrational. They act as instructions to your future, influencing the people you'll meet and the opportunities that will appear in ways you can't predict. Imagine a calm lake. You drop a small pebble into the still water. Tiny ripples spread outwards, silently expanding in every direction. You can't control where the waves travel, but they do move. They touch everything. This is what happens each time you align with your future self, no matter how small the act. One glass of water, one journal entry, one moment of self-reflection. The universe doesn't judge the size of the act. It registers the frequency it carries. And here's the crucial point most miss. The universe is always responsive, but it reacts at the level of your vibrational consistency, not intensity. It's about coherence, not forceful effort. It's not a single healthy meal that changes your biology, but the ripple created when that act is repeated, believed in, and consciously practiced. Over time, these ripples converge, building a new wave that carries you towards a future previously inaccessible. Let's make this concrete. You wake up tomorrow and decide, quietly and simply, to sit in silence for 3 minutes before starting your day. Not for enlightenment or material gain, but simply to be present. This small act generates a ripple. You start your day feeling a little more grounded. Maybe you don't snap at your loved one as usual. Perhaps you choose a healthier breakfast. This might lead to improved focus at work and a sudden idea emerges. You send that email you were hesitant about. Someone responds and a new opportunity opens up. None of this was foreseeable at the outset. It didn't feel like your future was changing, but it was. This is the paradox. The largest shifts often originate from the smallest acts, because these repeated acts, performed with presence, rewire how you signal to the universe. The universe, ever responsive, begins to organize itself around your new frequency. We're often taught that change comes from dramatic leaps and grand decisions, but quantum reality works through subtle calibration and vibrational shifts. Habits aren't just routines or productivity hacks. They're daily declarations of identity. They're how you tell the universe who you've chosen to become. Hold that signal long enough, and reality will align with it. Nothing is ever truly wasted. Every breath, every step, every moment of alignment is a pebble creating ripples, shaping a future you can't yet see. The real shift begins when you trust the compounding effect of consistent vibrational energy. Eventually, these ripples create a wave so powerful it lifts you out of what you thought was your reality. If you're waiting for a grand breakthrough, pause, take a breath, and drop a new pebble today. That cup of water, that brief stretch, those few minutes of quiet reflection, these are not small things. They are quantum commands, declarations of identity broadcast on a vibrational level. The universe always listens to declarations made with consistent frequency. In the following sections, we'll explore how these invisible waves of habit shape your life far more profoundly than effort alone. You'll discover why your most meaningful rituals are often the smallest, and learn to transform your daily life into a playground of quantum alignment, one ripple at a time. There's a subtle magic in the mundane, but only if you know where to look. The way you brush your teeth, the way you prepare your coffee, the way you speak to yourself, these seemingly insignificant moments are broadcasts, and your energy field is always listening, even when your mind isn't. Modern science calls this habit stacking, but in the quantum realm, it's vibrational sequencing. It's the unseen network of micro-actions that either align you with coherence or pull you into disharmony. This alignment or dissonance builds over time, not in dramatic bursts, but in subtle, almost imperceptible layers. You wake up late, skip a moment of mindfulness, and reach for your phone. Your nervous system tenses, you enter the day already out of sync. You feel behind, scattered, irritable. Even if you try to fix the day later with positive affirmations or healthy food, it doesn't quite land because the ripple has already begun. The sequence is set. Now, imagine this. The same morning, but you wake and ground yourself with presence. You pause, breathe, and whisper a gentle affirmation. You drink your water with intention, listening to your body's needs. This simple shift alters your trajectory, both emotionally and energetically. The ripple you create won't just smooth your morning, it might shift a significant opportunity days later. You've subtly altered your timeline without conscious effort. You've practiced the quantum butterfly effect, starting with your routine. It's not random, it's resonance. The quantum field doesn't respond to the size of the action, it responds to its precision. You don't need to do more, you need to stop scattering your energy. You need to focus your coherence on the present moment. It's not what you do that creates impact, it's how whole you are while doing it. Have you noticed how skipping your workout affects your food choices, how a lack of sleep leads to self-criticism, or how neglecting journaling increases reactivity? These aren't coincidences, they're energetic cascades. Your system tries to regulate from a lower frequency, compensating in fragmented ways. There are no isolated habits. Every action touches another. Every vibration threads into the next. Every choice becomes a tuning fork for the field you inhabit. Most people search for a breakthrough habit, the one that will change everything. But in quantum reality, it's the first thing, the anchor, the spark that recalibrates the following decisions. This is why your morning is sacred. Your initial frequency sets the tone for the entire day's interaction with the universe. If your first act is chaotic, the universe returns chaos. If it's present, the universe returns clarity. It's not spiritual punishment, it's physics. This doesn't mean every day needs to start perfectly. You don't need intense meditation or elaborate rituals. You need conscious entry into the field of your own life. This can take 30 seconds, one breath, one moment of truth. The compounding effect is where miracles happen. That initial moment of presence makes you more mindful during your next meal. This awareness gives you the clarity to handle conversations with less ego. This improved interaction shifts your mood for the afternoon, leading you to make that important phone call, which opens a door. This door changes everything, not because you planned it, but because you planted the seed. It started with how you approached your coffee. The quantum ripple effect is mechanical. It's how the universe amplifies what you embody, immediately, not eventually.
So, what are you sending? We'll now delve deeper into how repeated, refined, and trusted ripples transform into powerful waves of change. How the seemingly insignificant becomes magnetic, the invisible inevitable, and how your smallest choices form the foundation of your future self. You don't need a revolution, you need a rhythm. A rhythm so true, so subtle, and so consistent that the universe has no choice but to acknowledge it. What you repeat with presence becomes sacred, and what becomes sacred rewrites your reality. Let's discard the go big or go home mentality. In quantum terms, consistent small actions always surpass chaotic large ones. Alignment amplifies. Sometimes the smallest shift is the loudest signal you can send. You don't need to believe this, you just need to remember it. Consider this story. A woman felt creatively blocked, years having passed since she last wrote. Every attempt to restart felt overwhelming. "I can't write a book," she'd say. "I don't have time. I don't know where to start." So she didn't start. For 5 years, the desire remained dormant until she made a simple promise: 5 minutes of journaling daily. No rules, no expectations. The first week felt pointless. The second, she noticed her language shifting. By the third week, something unlocked. Ideas flowed, old energy moved. Within a year, she completed a manuscript and is now a published author. All because she made the small sacred. Then there's the man who felt out of shape and disconnected from his body. He didn't buy weights or hire a trainer. He simply started walking, 10 minutes a day, rain or shine. Not to lose weight, not to impress anyone, but because his body was ready for movement. That small daily walk became 30 minutes. He added mindful hydration and better food choices. 2 years later, he'd not only transformed physically, but began coaching others, not through punishment, but through presence. There's also the young woman who set aside her daily latte, not out of guilt, but to consciously redirect her energy. She transferred that money into a savings app, watching it grow, not just financially, but in self-pride. This habit evolved into learning about investing, shifting her spending habits, and eventually building enough capital to start her dream business, all from one small, consistently practiced choice. What do these stories share? None began with perfection. They started with decision, a choice to anchor energy into form repeatedly. In the quantum field, consistency is identity, and identity collapses potential into reality. The mistake most make is waiting for motivation, which is fickle and fleeting. Sacred habits don't rely on motivation, they rely on meaning. You give your habit meaning by choosing it even when it doesn't feel exciting, especially then. That's when it becomes part of your energy signature. The universe isn't counting repetitions, it's tuning in to your rhythm. The question is, can you be trusted with the small? Because if you can, the universe will entrust you with the larger. Ancient spiritual practices often involve repetition, chanting, breathwork, lighting candles. It's not the act itself, but the frequency it carries. It's a declaration. I remember who I am. I am present. I choose again. Over time, this becomes a gravitational pull. You become a timeline magnet. Your 5-minute meditation, your mindful hydration, your pause before reacting, these are all quantum work. Each act is a ripple. Each ripple a recalibration, bringing you closer to your truest self. If you're waiting for a big break, look smaller. The portal might be disguised as a walk, a deep breath before an email, or a journal entry when your mind says, "Why bother?" In the next sections, you'll learn to identify your quantum trigger and repeat it with intention. Your next shift won't arrive with fanfare. It will come quietly, like a rhythm, like a pebble in a still lake. You're not lazy or inconsistent, you've simply been trained to underestimate the power of repetition. We chase transformation through extremes, but true transformation is quiet. It happens where no one applauds, through the signal you send when unobserved. That signal is encoded in your habits, not the ones you perform when motivated, but those you commit to when nothing feels magical. This is where the concept of the quantum trigger comes in. Unlike traditional productivity habits, quantum habits are vibrational keys, tuning forks that recalibrate your energy field. They're not just actions, but how you perform them and who you are while doing so. A quantum trigger is a micro-action that, when repeated with coherence, unlocks momentum. It's not about doing more, but doing the right small thing at the right frequency until reality responds. You don't need to overhaul your life. Find your quantum ignition point. One habit, one ripple, one anchor, honored daily, shifts the gravitational center of your being. How do you find it? Observe yourself gently, without judgment. Track what gives you true resonance, not just stimulation. It might be a short breath before checking your phone, writing 3 things you're grateful for, or placing your hand on your heart and speaking your identity aloud. These are vibrational anchors, declarations, not mere tasks. Many misunderstand. They think their problem is inconsistency. But the truth is, they've never chosen a habit that felt alive.
a habit that transcends obligation and feels like a reunion with your higher self. That's a quantum trigger, a doorway. Opening it doesn't just change your next 5 minutes, it shifts the energy field around your entire life. Most give up here. They start the habit, feel good, but after a few days, old patterns resurface. The mind says it's not working, and they stop. Not out of weakness, but because they expect instant confirmation. In the quantum realm, however, the ripple is real long before the wave is visible. The art of building quantum habits requires trust, holding the signal long enough for the universe to match it. Is 1 minute enough? 1 minute of presence is more powerful than 10 hours of unconscious action. One fully lived minute creates change, because in that minute, you're not reacting, you are creating. You're not asking for change, you are becoming it. If you're overwhelmed, aim smaller, but deeper. Start with a habit taking less than 2 minutes, one that aligns with your future self. Ask, can I do this today as if it already matters? Can I approach this small act as if it were sacred? If yes, you've activated your ripple. Repeated daily, not for results, but for resonance. When the universe recognizes consistent, undesperate effort, it opens. Timelines bend, synchronicities increase, and you become a vibrational match to a future once out of reach. Let's ground this understanding further. We've established the power of consistent small actions, the quantum ripples that over time create transformative waves. Now let's explore how the universe doesn't just respond to what you do, but how you hold it. How your frequency, not your effort, becomes the language of your reality. There is no such thing as a silent action. No gesture is truly invisible. The universe constantly listens. It doesn't need your words or frantic efforts, it reads frequency. The frequency of your habits, your choices, your micro-decisions, this is the true language of creation. We believe the universe notices us only when we scream, cry out, or finally achieve something monumental. The truth is far subtler. The quantum field doesn't seek drama, it tunes in to coherence. Coherence isn't loud, it's precise, grounded, and consistent. When you pause to breathe before reacting, the universe records it. When you replace gossip with silence, the field expands.
When you choose presence over distraction or gratitude over complaint, the field shifts. These moments may not impress the ego, but to the quantum fabric of your life, they are tectonic. Why? Because the field doesn't follow intensity, it follows integrity. Your reality doesn't change when you try harder, it changes when your signal becomes stable. That stability is built through consistent alignment, not just action. It's the repetition of becoming the self who no longer needs external validation to maintain an inner frequency. This is where we understand the spiritual mechanics of the quantum ripple effect. It's not just about doing something small each day, it's about being someone real in every moment. Not perfect, not enlightened, but honest, present, tuned in. That's what the universe responds to. Not your effort, but your embodiment. Consider two individuals. One spends 10 minutes daily repeating affirmations with tension in their body, checking their phone between repetitions, worrying about results. They may say the right things, but their energy field signals dissonance. Another individual stands still for just 1 minute each morning, hand on their heart, breathing into gratitude without the need to perform. Their action is smaller, but their frequency is clear. The second person will manifest a more aligned reality, not because they did more, but because their signal was coherent. This is the paradox of quantum manifestation. The universe responds faster to those unattached to results, because attachment creates static, clogging the wave with doubt. Presence, consistent presence, amplifies clarity, and clarity collapses potential into form. You are already broadcasting. The question is, what is your signal saying? Are you telling the universe, I don't trust this, I need proof? Or are you saying, I am here, I remember, I am aligned? The ripple effect begins within that choice. That subtle, sacred choice to stay true to yourself, even without external validation, especially then. That's when the universe begins to mirror your internal state with external shifts. These shifts may not be dramatic. They may arrive as quiet clarity, a release of tension, a moment of grace, a door opening silently. But they are coming because the universe is always listening. It listens to how you brush your teeth, how you breathe before speaking, how you enter a room, how you treat yourself when unobserved. It listens when you choose not to scroll, when you drink water mindfully, when you stop apologizing for your light. These aren't lifestyle choices, they're energetic instructions. The more precise your instructions become, not through force, but authenticity, the more magnetic your field grows. People will notice a shift, and that shift is coherence. That shift is quantum. If you've wondered why something isn't working, ask not what you're doing, but how you're being. Ask if your habits reflect your future self or the residue of your past. The universe isn't testing you, it's attuning you, it's preparing, it's mirroring. You don't need more evidence, you need more presence. We'll return to your daily now and visualize the future self that already exists because of your choices. The legacy begins when you stop performing and start vibrating as the one who already knows. Every wave you've sent into the field still echoes. No act of alignment is lost, no breath of presence ignored. Even moments you considered wasted were part of the ripple, part of the rhythm, reminding you that your becoming is non-linear, but it is certain. Legacy doesn't begin when the world sees you. It begins when you see yourself clearly, again and again, through the lens of sacred choice. Your reality has never been random. It's always been an echo of what you've practiced quietly, consistently, vibrationally. A future self already real is calling you, a you who doesn't force, seeks proof, or rushes the process. This future self doesn't live in reaction, they live in resonance. They don't beg the universe for alignment, they are the alignment. Every small choice you make now, every conscious act, every micro habit of coherence is a message to that self. I'm coming, I remember, I am arriving. But what happens when you stop sending that signal? When you forget your power and let old patterns take over? Nothing is broken. You don't start from scratch. You simply pause the wave. The moment you return to presence, it resumes. This is the quantum gift of rhythm. It doesn't require perfection, only return, remembrance, and presence. If you've doubted your small habits, remember, every sip of water in gratitude, every breath before speaking, every choice to stretch instead of scroll, every step no one sees, these aren't insignificant. They are seeds. They are seeds planted in the field, watered with frequency, destined to bloom in futures your current self can't imagine. The successful you wasn't born from one breakthrough. They were shaped by waves. Tiny, sacred, invisible ripples that began here, right now. If you're ready to deepen that shift, not through force, but vibration, there's a portal waiting. It's not just information, it's a frequency tool. It's designed to align your habits, identity, and frequency with the future you've always felt possible, not through pressure, but precision. It's not something to rush, it's something to receive. This is your invitation to crystallize what we've explored into practice. Before you go, take a breath, place your hand on your heart, and remember, you're not building your life from scratch. You're remembering it into form. One ripple at a time, one sacred habit at a time, one signal at a time. This isn't self-help, it's quantum identity. This isn't a routine, it's your resonance, and your resonance is your reality. Let the universe reflect your signal. Let's revisit the origin of the ripple, your daily now, and visualize that future self who already exists because of the choices you're making. We've explored the power of consistent, small actions, the subtle shifts in frequency that create profound changes in our reality. Now, let's solidify these principles and integrate them into your daily life. Every wave you've ever sent into the field still echoes. Not one act of alignment has been lost, not one breath of presence ignored. Even the moments you considered wasted, the days you felt you failed, the steps you skipped,
They weren't endings, they were parts of the ripple, part of the rhythm, reminding you that your becoming is non-linear, but it is certain. Legacy doesn't begin when the world sees you. It begins when you begin to see yourself clearly, again and again, through the tiny, repeated lens of sacred choice. You realize that your reality has never been random. It's always been an echo of what you've practiced quietly, consistently, vibrationally. There's a version of you in a future so real it's already calling you. A you who doesn't force, doesn't seek constant proof, doesn't rush the process. This future self doesn't live in reaction, they live in resonance. They don't beg the universe for alignment, they are the alignment. Every small choice you make now, every conscious act, every micro habit of coherence, is a message to that self. I'm coming, I remember, I am arriving. But what happens when you stop sending that signal? When you forget your power and let old patterns take over? Nothing is broken. You don't start from scratch. You simply pause the wave. The moment you return to presence, it resumes. This is the quantum gift of rhythm. It doesn't require perfection, only return, remembrance, and presence. If you've doubted your small habits, remember, every sip of water in gratitude, every breath before speaking, every choice to stretch instead of scroll, every step no one sees, these are not insignificant. They are seeds. They are seeds planted in the field, watered with frequency, destined to bloom